Haas are kicking off the bulk of launch season by unveiling the VF-24. We finally got to have a look at one of the first cars to be released, and although it's only renders, yes, Haas love to give us a render, it is an actual car that they are going to be producing and putting on track. And I probably by this point have already produced and put on track. So let's have a little look and see what we can learn, and then stay tuned because towards the end of this video I'm going to give you a bit of a rant. And also, there's going to be a rating. We're going to rate all of the cars and put them into an order, ranking them from best to worst. So stick around for that at the end of the video. Now, I'm not an aerodynamicist. I don't design cars. I'm just a passionate fan who's looking at this and trying to decide, like Martin Brundle says, if it looks right, then it is right. So looking at Haas's new design, we can see they've gone for the Ferrari shaped radiator inlets, making them skinnier and longer, and that is something which helps them to put that undercut under the side pods to be able to try to create that downwash effect. The side pods themselves are more rounded and they are more bulky, but they are having that definite undercut underneath, unlike last season's car where they were continuing to follow the 2022 Ferrari flat around the edge of the side pod. So Haas, with their new design, are definitely trying to manipulate the air going round the car, channeling it under the side pod, aiming to produce the most downforce possible from this car. It's also an awful lot fatter around the back of the gearbox area of the car, and there seems to be more detail on the front wing, and on the rear wing it seems like they've gone for the similar Mercedes design where they have gone flatter and pointier in the edges. Maybe they're trying to produce the vortices again that they used to do off of the old cars from 2021 and before. This is all very interesting as we look at this car because it helps us to see how Ferrari might be setting their car up for the 2024 season. After all, Haas take an awful lot of parts from Ferrari, so this should be very interesting to show us maybe what some of the design will look like on the Ferrari. Now, the Ferrari did have these scalloped out tunnels on the top of the side pod, and in the renders here I can't see that. So maybe the Ferrari and the Haas are moving away from those sculpted out side pods and going for something which will have a flatter dimension. Okay, that's about all I can say for this car. After all, it is only a render and we will have to wait to see what it actually looks like when it's on track in Bahrain. So now we come to the livery, and here comes the rant. Haas have gone for more black than last season. There's more unpainted carbon on this car. It's black with some accents of white and red. My fondest wish for Formula 1 this season was that we would have less bare carbon, less black cars on the grid, and have more painted, colourful, interesting to look at cars. Now, we know Mercedes will often have a black car. That's been their thing for the last few seasons, although they are the silver arrows. But there are other cars who've gone more black. It seems to be it's black with some colour that all the cars are going for. And Haas are no different. They're black with white and red. But it isn't really a livery. It isn't really an identity. This car does not have an identity. You can't say, oh, Haas, yeah, they're the black team. Because all the teams are black. They're pretty much all black, bare, unpainted carbon. And it's just boring to look at. Think back just a few years on the grid and we had such a vibrant colour throughout the entire grid. And now we don't have anything. It's all just bare carbon, and I'm getting so fed up of it, and I'm sure you are too. We want to see interesting designs. We want to see teams having a soul and have an identity which they stick to that is part of their team. Now, yes, other teams do have that and they'll have colour schemes they work with, but this is nothing. Unfortunately, Haas have put as much effort into their car livery as they do into their car in general. So that's the rant about the Haas. Now let's go to rating this. I will rate the McLaren too, because at the time when the McLaren came out I had decided to do a rating system, but here we go. This is who designed the best car in 2024. So the McLaren came out first, so we should probably rate the McLaren first. I put the McLaren, they've removed the blue, which I'm really pleased about. I didn't like that on the McLaren. It wasn't the right look for the car, especially as it went away from being a dark electric blue to being this pale, ridiculous colour. So it looks better. I wouldn't say it's the most amazing look. Again, it is orange and just black. I put the McLaren in fourth, I think, overall so far. And just something to note about these ratings, about car liveries, I'm not going to change them. They are going to be what they are, so I need to try to get them spot on first time. So, McLaren in fourth, and I think that the Haas I'm going to put in ninth. I would put them 10th, but actually I'm saving 10th for a different team. So if you think you know which team it is I'm putting in 10th, let me know in the comments below. So that's the rating so far. We look forward to better car launches from Williams and Stake on Monday and going into seeing the rest of the teams in the upcoming weeks. But let me know what you think of the VF-24 in the comments below, and give me your rating of the McLaren and of the Haas in the comments as well, and let me see where you would put this overall.